So we're sitting at Out of Order Coffee, which shares the space with two amazing businesses, Shelter Brewing and Dillon Camps. And this is just our amazing little cafe space that we operate in the mornings from 7 to 2, sharing the space with these other businesses. So we operate in the mornings and they operate in the evenings. And yeah, we're just super lucky to be here.
In downtown Saskatoon.
In downtown, in the heart of it, opening a business, you can only wish to be so lucky. So to find amazing partners that have been established in this neighborhood and they have, kind of build their own following, to be able to kind of partner with them to do this is like a dream come true.
So what makes Out of Order Coffee unique? You have a policy here that maybe people wouldn't necessarily expect from a coffee shop.
Yeah.
What is that?
We are a living wage cafe, and we don't accept tips. And that, I think, amongst other things, sets us apart. When we were looking at starting this cafe, my partner Shar has been somebody who's been a barista for most of her life. And in all of the places that she's worked, for somebody who wants to be in the industry, who wants to be in coffee or in hospitality or retail in general, it's really hard to actually have a career there. It's hard to be able to say, I love this and I want to keep going when all that's really available to you is kind of a part-time position doing whatever it is that business is doing. It's hard to move up. Maybe you can get to a manager or something, but there's always a disconnect of what's available to you. Versus in a lot of bigger cities, you can be a lifetime host or a server or a bartender or all of those things where that skill is highly valued, but we never really saw that reflected here. So for us, in kind of going on this journey, we wanted to create a space where that was possible, where if you loved coffee, you could do that here. And that only really starts with valuing your employees to the point where they can live and grow off of what you are able to provide to them. So a living wage for us is where that starts.
So you're paying employees a living wage, but you have taken it one step further by discouraging customers from tipping.
Yeah.
So why go to that length?
I think from a very base level, I think we're just kind of tired of the tipping culture and where it's gotten to. You go to a place where you're paying the price of a meal or a beverage or whatever it happens to be that is the most expensive we've ever been, and that's obviously an entire other conversation. But on top of that, you still have to tip the staff. And being in that industry, we understand that tipping in places is a necessity because those workers aren't paid enough.
They're relying on it.
They're relying on it. They have to have tips to pay their rent. If they don't have tips, their base for what they make is nowhere near enough to be able to pay rent, to buy groceries, to pay for their car insurance, for their benefits, whatever they might happen to have. It's just not enough. So they rely on it. They have to make tips. It becomes this sort of desperation, and now you go into places where the minimum tip option on the machine is 20%, 22%, 25%. Sometimes the no tip option is blanked out. You can't even select it.
You can't find it.
We're almost forced to. So for us, that just creates such a pressure on the people coming into your establishment, trying to order or just trying to buy something, because not only are they contending with the price of your item, but now they have to do that math. And with that becomes some feeling of maybe guilt or annoyance or anything, and it becomes less about what you're giving them and just how much you have to pay for it. So
when people come here and they look at the price, the price is listed on your menu. Are the tips worked into that? Is it more to buy a cup of coffee here?
Ultimately, yes. The answer is yes. But the price of our items are just dictated by the cost of those items. Right now, coffee is the most expensive it's ever been. The green price of coffee is almost 3 times what it traditionally would be, let's say 5 or 6 years ago. The cost of teas like matcha and hojicha, especially teas that come directly from Japan where we source ours, the cost of that, the import cost of that, is incredibly high, especially for a product that's at peak desirability. Matcha is massive right now. Everyone loves matcha for good reason, it's amazing. But the cost of that is incredibly high. So for us, we need to be able to price what that's worth, but we also need to be able to price our living wage. And the result of that is a menu that's priced higher than everyone else. And we're okay with that. We're happy with that.
Do people still come here?
So
Are they still buying your coffee?
So far, so good, yeah. So really, I think at the end of the day, from what we've heard, is people are just happy to support living wages. They're happy to support people who are happy with their job, happy with the place that they work. and people who are able to get that living wage and also receive benefits, to have an employer that is taking care of them and is not simply driven by collecting a profit.
What do you do if a customer wants to leave a tip?
We just ask that they don't. That if they're looking to put extra money into something, there's hundreds and thousands of other causes where that extra dollar, extra $2 could go, or pay it forward. Maybe buy somebody else's coffee, or leave a tip somewhere else, because not everywhere else has living wage. So save that for your next meal somewhere and just pay it forward.
Do you tip when you're out?
I do, yeah.
And who do you tip? Who would be on your list of people to tip?
I always tip because I feel like when you work those jobs, you just know what it feels like, and it's not the person that you're giving the tip to typically is not the person who has a choice whether or not you're tipping. They're just at the end of that sort of totem pole that's just saying, like, I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying to get by. And whether that's a server or a hospitality person or anyone in any other industry that has a tip, your barber, anything. Okay. A lot of times, it is nice to tip if somebody does give you good service. Like, there's always the argument of, why did tipping become a thing in the first place? Well, it was to motivate workers to exemplify and, build up the company they work for. But a lot of times, there isn't even an opportunity to do that before they're asking you to tip. Like, you're tipping a delivery driver that you've never received service from. How do you know it's going to be good or not? Mm-hmm. How do you know that you want to tip? So, it's tough, but...
Mechanic, gas attendant, hairstylist.
Absolutely.
The list
Are you going to tip before that happens? Like, what if you get a bad haircut? Do you still want to tip? Do you not? I don't know.
So what do you think what would you like to see society do when it comes to tipping? Because there's lots of people who are angry about tipflation, tip creep.
Yeah.
There are lots of words to talk about what we're experiencing right now. So what would you like to see as a society when it comes to tipping culture and the money that people make to offer a service?
Yeah. I think as owners of businesses, we just have to take ownership of paying our employees. I understand that it can be nerve-wracking, it can be scary to raise your menu prices because we all know all of your cost of goods are going up. Cost of, let's say, oil, your cost of butter, your cost of milk, like anything that you might use is 1 times, 2 times higher. I remember when we started, price of chocolate for 5 kilograms that we use, dark chocolate from Belgium, it was about $32. A week after we opened, it went to $72. So I understand, but the public also does understand, and you have to give people a chance to understand your mission and what you're going for. But you have to be able to deliver the quality of that. Because the other side of this coin is if we say we're a living wage cafe and we have a more expensive menu, which we do, the quality has to be there because a customer is happy to pay it, but they expect quality for that. If they're gonna pay a little bit extra for their matcha, it should be the best matcha that they've had, or they should be able to compare it to the best matchas they had.
And there's no tip jar next to your...
No tip jar. So if you have a bad experience, I guess Google reviews are your outlet, but also please just tell us if you have a bad copy.
Thanks for talking to me today. I appreciate
Of course. Yeah, thanks for reaching out to us. This is something we've been really passionate about, and we're happy to be able to provide it. And we just hope to be able to continue to do that. We're not really here to drive a profit. We're not here to, as owners, not be here and just be sitting off somewhere and enjoying the fruits of our labor. We built this place because we want to be here. We want to be in here working every day. My partner Shar is here every day, opens every morning. Like, we want to be driving the quality ourselves and providing a place for people to live and work. So it's an honor to do so.
Well, it's an honor to talk to you. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much.